For less than 119, we're going to be finding a whole when a percent is known. So the question says 30% of what number is 120? So we can find the answer by writing and solving the equation, and we're also going to draw a model just so you can see it a little bit. So it says 30% of, which means multiplication, what number is going to equal 120? Okay. So I'm going to write my 30% as a decimal because that's easy. 3/10 times what number, or x, is going to equal 120. Remember, when we're finding an unknown, we would take the 120 divided by our 3/10. Do the division, I go over, up. Okay. When I do this division, I should get 400. And that is what number will go in the box. Okay. So 30% of 400 is 120. So if you want to draw a diagram, I have 10 parts. Okay. 30% of those, or 3/10, is 120. So if I took 120 divided by 3, I'd get 40 for every part. And that means all these are 40. So I could do 40 times 10. So if I put it into a fraction, it'd be 30 hundredths, 3/10 times x equals 120. That's where I could divide by the top, multiply by the bottom. Okay. So I could put it into a decimal or a fraction. Okay. Whichever way is easier. So that's one example. Here's another example. It says 16 is 25% of what number? Okay, so I'm going to switch these around, just make it easier to read. So we have 25% times what is 16. Okay. So I'm going to do a fraction because I like fractions, they're easier. So I have 1/4 times what is going to be 16. Okay, well, what I remember, I can take my 16, divide by the top, which is 1, then multiply by the bottom, get 64. So 25% of 64 is 16. If you want to draw a model, you can, but you would not need to. Okay. So pretty much this turns into 16 divided by 1/4, which turns into 16 times 4/1. Okay. Just another way to think about it. You could have done it in decimals, where it's 0.25 times what equals 16. 16 divided by that. I like using fractions because I don't like dividing by decimals very much. Either way is going to work. So go ahead, solve these problems, find the unknown numbers. Make sure you bring any questions you may have to class.